Hi, my name is Kata Dorian, and this is my educational approach. My goal was to learn more about the effectiveness of student-centered learning in the middle school classroom and to gain some insight of the advantages of this method of instruction, including the effectiveness of integrating technology. So my first article was You Can Lead Students to Water, but You Can't Make Them Think, looking at student engagement and learning through student-centered teaching. So the why was, are student-centered teaching methods effective in improving student engagement and learning? The results showed an increase in student engagement and learning through student-centered learning. Technological innovations allowed for more engaging and interacting teaching methods. Some interesting facts I came across is that the study stated how large classrooms could benefit from this style of teaching, which is interesting because I have a very large class at this time. It's important that all student-centered learning techniques focus on clear instructions and consistent methods in order to achieve the best results, as well as being facilitated effectively by the teacher. The next article was When Teachers Learn to Use Technology, Students Benefit. And this looked at a 2 to 3 year study of professional development to integrate technology and to increase teachers' content knowledge. So the results were an improved efficacy or an effectiveness of instruction. It produces significant increases at the end of grade assessment scores. The number of teachers participating had a great impact on the 8th grade math and science scores. The more participating teachers, the higher their scores. Some interesting facts. All teachers know positive effects of their technology integration. When not measured, the researchers noted student motivation increased and excitement about learning increased during the observations. Article 3 looked at working together, how teachers teach and students learn in collaborative learning environments. The theory they had was that a shift from an individual to a collaborative learning would redefine the teacher's role, would alter the teacher and student relationship, would change the teacher's organizational, instructional, and assessment practices, and begin to lay the groundwork for an eventual shift towards full learner-centered instruction. The results, after implementing student-centered learning, there was a decentralization of the teacher's role, a change in the classroom structure. The teachers were more of the facilitators, with the ability to interact more intimately and assist as needed. They were able to prompt students to help and learn from one another. This therefore made the teacher seem more accessible, reducing the fear of interacting with the teacher. There was also improved instruction. With the student-centered learning, teachers are able to differentiate instruction, provide formative assessment, and there was a greater time on task and peer instruction. Some interesting facts. There was a better understanding of the student learning styles and intelligences after this transition to student-centered learning. Students were more engaged, interested, and motivated. They were better behaved and performing better academically. There's also an increase in student efficacy or their ability to successfully complete a task. Article 4 talks about the effects of technology immersion in the middle school. Their question was, what is the effect of technology immersion on classroom activities, engagement, etc.? So the results was that technology immersion had a positive effect on students' technology proficiency and the frequency of their technology-based class activities and small group interactions. Compared to the control group, the counterparts had statistically significant and positive growth trends in the classroom activities and small group work and their overall technology proficiency. There, however, was no statistical significance effect on their reading or math achievement scores. Technology did enhance the lessons to help students develop 21st century skills. So the important part we see with this is that we did see a decrease in violations and disciplinary actions when technology increased. Academic achievement, though, while the previous slide said that they didn't see a large increase in scores, did have an effect in the area of writing. The students with laptops had control over dimensions, better control of their ideas of content of their organization and style. So we saw an overall writing improved with laptops. Article 5 looked at attitudinal effects of student-centered learning, and they wanted to examine whether active learning environment that incorporated research-based ideas had an effect on their attitudes towards the topic at hand and learning in general. So the results, the teachers can greatly impact student performance. Lower markings reported when teachers implemented their approach where students became more responsible for their own learning, which was interesting. But there was no significant changes in the learning if the students participated in the SCALE group, which the SCALE was the student-centered learning activity environment. Some additional results. The outlook was very interesting. The students who were actively participating in the student-centered learning thought it was hard yet rewarding. It taught them a lot, they felt like. They felt like they got more out of it. It was fun. It was interesting. They felt like it was a better way to learn. Teacher-led instruction, the students' response, felt like it was hard. It had a lot of work. They had to put a lot of effort into it. It required a lot of time. They felt their responsibility for not doing well was placed on the teacher rather than themselves. So even though we didn't see a large increase in scores, they really felt like it was rewarding to be in the active student environment. Article 6 looked at increasing the use of student-centered pedagogies from moderate to high, improve student learning and attitudes about biology. So the why. Do students gain more content knowledge in a class that uses active learning and increases the amount of formative assessments? So the results is that they had significantly higher scores when students participated in student-centered learning. We see that we see the post score had an increase compared to the students that were not taking part in the student-centered learning. Scores significantly higher on the post test, again, relating to the student-centered learning. Some interesting facts. Substantial evidence that active learning was much more effective than lecture. Structuring classes such as students work in small groups or cooperative learning increased student achievement. When students work in small groups, they had higher learning gains and better attitudes towards learning. Regular formative assessments allow teachers to understand what students know and modify instruction in response to the students' misunderstandings. Again, formative assessments are going to prompt or promote learning. Students working in the cooperative groups had an increased self-efficacy and process skills. Article 7, what does value add to a 1-to-1 student to laptop ratio, bringing technology-supported teaching and learning? So the why was to understand how middle school teachers use laptops in a 1-to-1 environment in the context of curriculum and instruction. So the results, the 1-to-1 added value to teaching and learning process by providing an increased ability to formally assess students, ability to individualize instruction, the capacity for self-guided learning or pacing, the ability to access online resources, the capability for students to interact and collaborate, the capability for networked communication and material management. So interesting facts with this, the 1-to-1 environment created more student-centered learning and constructivist lessons, allowing for less lecturing and more facilitating students in the learning process. The 1-to-1 also allowed for the increased feedback, allowing for targeted remediation. And teachers with weak classroom management skills greatly struggled to maintain the classroom in a 1-to-1 environment. Article 8 looked at the intersection between the one-to-one laptop implementation and the characteristics of an effective middle school level. So how does a one-to-one program intersect with the characteristics of effective middle schools? What tensions and opportunities arise when teachers committed to the effective practices? So the results showed access to educational technology is a vital force in engagement and relevant to students' lives and aspiring students. Technology can be thoughtfully integrated into the fundamentals of responsive middle school practice. Effective use of one-to-one technology can facilitate engagement or engaging learning opportunities that are relevant to students' lives and reflect technology-rich resources or cultures beyond the classroom walls. Technology-rich curriculum can be active and purposeful, challenging and relevant, and create individualized instruction. Proud of their technology-infused projects, we see that students really appreciated technology. So, interesting fact, student engagement has increased dramatically in response to technology. There was reduced behavior referrals, improved attendance, improvements in students' attitudes towards learning as well. Interactive dynamics, the effect of student-centered learning. How do students in interactive dynamics, which is a course, perform compared to students in traditional class? So, subject matter learning, there is no difference between the actual achievement or the learning. However, we do see the increase in computer skills, an increase in teamwork skills, an increase in the ability, no change really in the communication or problem solving, it felt like. However, retention indicators, there's also no difference. But the teamwork and computer problem solving skills, they felt like there was a self-reported increase in teamwork and overall computer skills. So an interesting fact, the students reported gains in valued skilled by employers. So they felt like they were mastering skills that would help them find jobs in the future. Last, Article 10, the impact of the teaching. The subjects under Science and Time unit, that was a specific unit within the social studies curriculum, using jigsaw technique. So the why is looking at how does a jigsaw impact student success. So the results with the jigsaw, they saw an increase in student success. The experimental group who participated in the jigsaw saw a great increase in their score compared to the control group. The difference between the testing results, again, show a large increase in the rate compared to the teacher-led instruction. Opinion showed that students felt that they were able to improve their cooperation. They felt more responsible for their learning. So, in conclusion, the technology and student-centered learning go hand in hand. While some of the results had research had mixed results on the actual impact of the student-centered learning on content gain, knowledge gain, most research concluded that there were reported gains in the area of teamwork, technology, problem solving, and student self-efficacy. Student-centered learning, or active learning, better prepared students to enter the workforce. Students were more engaged when the responsibility of learning was placed on them. So while technology kept the students engaged and allowed teachers to easily differentiate and formally assess the students.